So hi everybody and welcome back to the Unreal Engine 5 full game tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 52 and in this video we want to do the coding for our widgets which we created in our last video. And the widget which we created in our last video was this story widget here. And we finished all here, this buttons, this pictures and so on. And now we are going to the coding side, which is here. We click on graph. And I already coded this, but I will explain, of course, all step by step again what I did. And yeah, let's get started. First of all, here, let's see with what we start. We start with our event construct. So what is our event construct? Event construct is it's similar like event begin play, because widget blueprints have not this node event begin play. When you try to find it here with right click, then when write event begin play, you can see there is no event begin play. Instead, they have this node event construct, and then you will get this event construct node for starting your, let's say, this one is called when you just when this widget is constructed. And where is this widget constructed? Because this widget needs to be constructed, needs to be called, and then this node will be activated, and we will set up at this node some initial values. And the initial value is, or initial setup is, here I have two pictures, image 1 and image 2. Image 1 is my story 1 page, and image 2 is my story 2 page. And we will control this with these two buttons. But before we can do this, we have to say at event construct which of them should be shown at start and which of them should be not shown at start of the two pictures. They are overlapping. They are exactly at the same position. When I disable this one here, you can see they are exactly on top, so that when one is set to not visible, it will be not shown. Let's do this. And you can see this, to do this is very easy. What we have to do is first get our image story image here, the first image here. Here on the left side we have a hierarchy, and important is that this hierarchy here, well, let me scroll this down a little bit. Important is that when you have selected this image and go here to the details panel, that this image story here on top, this variable is checked. If this one here is checked, is variable, then you can switch to graph, and then you can see here on the left side it pops up here in this variable. Yes, you can see this image story 1 pops up here as a variable, and we can use it. You drag it out from there, get this, and now we are just setting the visibility of this image here, visible or collapsed. And you just drag out, set visibility, and you can see when you set the visibility, you have here different options. And we are not using this hidden. You can use this hidden, but collapse is a little bit better, because most time it will not take this place. And yeah, you can test it what you like, and to test this other things here as well. But in my case, I set it to collapsed. And at start, that's wrong, sorry. At start, I set, of course, the story 1 not to collapsed. I set this one to visible, but I go here back to story 2. Again, I check if this is a variable, then I go back and see, yes, the story here in variable, it pops up. I can drag it out, get it, set visibility. And at start, I want that this node is collapsed, because now when I connect them, you can see this is the setup. So when you do this one, the first will be visible and the second will be collapsed. And that is the thing what I wanted with these images. Later we will, in a moment, configure these buttons here, so that when you click page 2, that the other one pops up. If you click here, then the first one pops up, just in a moment. But before that, we can do one more thing. You can see it here already. We can play sound, and the sound which I am playing here is not music or something like that. It's the recorded sound which I showed you in my last video, because I said we should give the player a possibility to choose between listen to the text here or read it for himself. And so we have to yes, play the sound here, and I have only set up right now the recorded sound without the possibility to disable it. We can do this later, but at this point, for fast prototyping, I made this. And how we made this, so very easy. You can see here is already the note, but important is when you say here sound or write sound, or let's say better play sound, something like that. And when you write your play sound, there are different options. I made a very cheap option again, because in sound there are many options, very nice options, and so I choose this spawn sound 2D. The cheapest way to play a sound is actually just use this node, play sound 2D. But the problem with this node is we can't create a real reference, and which means we can't disable the sound. I only created I used this other sound option just to create a reference, because I couldn't find how I disabled this sound fast. And to show you that, you can see when I select here anything, I can select here anything, and then when I start this sound here, I needed an option to cancel it, right? And let me show you what I mean. So let's first of all go again here, write play sound, and then we are, instead of using this node play sound 2D, I used here spawn sound 2D, right? The spawning. And when you spawn the sound 2D, you can select then which sound you want. Let's check this one. And then you can make here right click and promote this here to a variable, right? And when you have this now as a variable, later you can use this variable. Here's this variable. Later you can do something like that. Stop. You can write stop, and then the sound will stop. If you are using the other node, it's not possible. At least I found not a faster way. That was a very fast way which I found, and that's why I use this version. Stop. And like you can see, I made this here also exactly the same. I set here the sound, and I made here this variable, and then you can set here a little bit more options if you want. You can set here volume, pitch, start time, and all these other things. You can check this out if you need. And yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I did as a startup, and that's here very simple, fast startup. All right. Then, and let's write here a fast comment perhaps as well. And right here, let's place this first a little bit up, and like old time, right here, comment initial setup, perhaps initial setup. And yeah, we have an initial setup. That's okay. And now let's go here to the other parts. What we have here, this button which I set you. Now this one is showing us the right thing. Now I need configure this button so that when I click here page 2, that it shows me the second page. And we have already set up here the first page as a start page. And now let's see how we are going with the buttons. First of all, here you click on the button. You can scroll down if you want, and then here we have events, right? And important is that this button here, again, when you go on details, is variable again. You can click here on click events, or you can do the same thing here in the graph page. You click your button, and then here on the right side, in details, you can see the events are here on the right side. You can click here also on click event. So both are possible. After you clicked here on this on click events for the button which you want, in my case this one, I click it most time here and I know it is this one. And then what we want to do is, like I said, when I click this one, the first page should pop up, the second page should be closed, and that's very simple. You can see what I did. I just copied more or less these two notes here on top, the same thing like before. So I get here the story 1. You get here the story 1 here. You set just visibility. And at start you set here, you can see visible. And then you get the story 2 here. Yeah, you get the story 2, set visibility. And this time just collapse. That's it. A very simple solution. You can of course try to find here other solution like flip-flops, all this kind of stuff. I made this just very fast, and you can see if I click now the first button, it said just the first one visible, the second one hidden, and the same thing I did with the second button actually, but other way around. Here I said story 2 visible. You can see here I changed the position. Now this one is visible and the story 1 is collapsed, right? So when you click here, very simple setup, very fast, straightforward. And let's comment this out and write here button, what is this? Button page switch, anything like that. Not so important right now, but it's okay. All right, we have here now this button page switch is also okay. And now what we have here, the last setup here is button start game. Yes, this is our start game button. We go here down. You can see a start game button means just open the next level, or in my case, it's not the next level. Let's see what I have here. I have here basic login screen at viewport. Let's see what we have here. Validate get. What is that? Textude. Okay. All right, stop. The second part here, let me show, is just opening level. But normally opening level is very simple. You just open level with this node here. But before I open this level, the next level, which is my gameplay level, I have here a setup. What is this setup? So let me show you before we open this. Let's compile and save all things. Let me show you this again. So here is our start game. Here's this. Here is this one. And now I want to press this button here. When I press this button, you can see here pops up this loading screen, because depends on how much load time. This one is just yes, a simulation. It's not the real loading screen, because when you work in the editor, the data is already cached, which means it loads very fast, and that's why I just simulated this a little bit. Of course, I will kick this out later, the simulation, in the final product. I choose it just here. But first of all, what I mean with simulation. So let's get to it. So here's the start button. Again, you select the start button, you go down here, you go here to on click, click on click, which means when the mouse clicked it, what you want to do, I remove first the button, right? So you write here remove all widgets, because I want that all that what I have here on this page, or all these buttons and all this kind, or all this widget here, should be just gone. And then I create again a new widget, and that was the setup with this loading screen. We this here create widget, and I created here this loading screen, right? That is this loading screen, and I showed you, I used here again this horror image. Of course, you can replace this with a better one. The only thing what I added here was this throbber, and what the throbber is, you can go here on the left side to the palette, right? Throbber. Is there another thing? No. And then you have to choose, can choose one of these throbbers here. One is the circle one, this one, but there is the other one with the lines. You can see it here. And then place it like you want. But we go back. That was just that demonstration here. And then we are creating this widget. We are adding this to the viewport. And why we are doing this again? Because the next level. I want to open up the next level. And this opening up the next level can take time, right? Depends, yeah, on this loading time of all these assets and so on. So, and that's why we are using this loading screen. We're adding just that. And if this is loaded here and it's opening up the next level, all these widgets will be removed automatically because we have not saved it. So we don't need here a note like this. In this case, at the start, we needed this remove all widgets because we switched from this page to another widget, and that's very fast. And there we have, so we open not a new level. That's why we needed here this remove widgets. Here we don't need remove widget when we open up a new level. All right, I hope that makes sense. So here we created the loading screen. Okay, let's comment this a little bit out. Remove remove widget. Yeah, remove widgets. Okay, we remove widgets. Perhaps we should write here one more thing to make it a little bit more clear. Remove widgets because we not load. Remove widgets because we not load new level. All right, that's I don't know if this makes more sense, but the point is here we have to remove the widgets, and here at this point we don't have to remove the widgets. This widget here, and here create loading screen. Let's write here create loading screen. And so I hope this is clear. That was the step. Oops. Let's straighten this a little bit. All right, and yeah, that's that. The next point is what I have here is what is that here actually? And reference. All right, I wrote here story text 2 reference. I think that's more an audio component than a story. So what I did here is actually I was a little bit probably wrong naming here. Let's write it another naming. I have a horror and reference. This one is wrong. Let me see. This one is definitely wrong. The point what I have here is actually this reference of this audio, and we should name this a little bit better. I think I made it anyhow wrong. Let's call this ref audio text, audio story text. So now it makes more sense. Audio story text, and you can see this is the reference which I made before, ref audio story text, and here in this case I used it. So why I used it here, like I said, when we start this text here, go here, my name is and when I press now start, this if you are not removing the audio, it would play here too, right? And that is the thing what I don't want. And that's why I created this reference here with this audio, and then I stopped it here. So which means when you press start game, so when you press start game, this audio, the text here is just stopped. It should just stop and not go to the next level or whatever. And that's why we made this. And how I made this, let me show you. So here we created a reference for this audio here on top on construct, and here I used it. So you get here on the left side component where you have your reference, get it, and then you just, like I showed you before, you just write stop, and this will stop here. And then this one is my open level simulation. Like I said, this one is just a simulation node, because if I don't use this, this is opening instantly, and we don't see really this loading screen here. And this one I will remove. Let's say here remove in shipping. That's one should be not here. Make it so. This one is just open our level. Open gameplay. That's okay. And yeah, this node here, we have to talk here a little bit more because you can see this looks a little bit different here, right? And the reason for that is I changed this node here, this reference here, to a validate get. And why I did this? If, for example, if I connect this directly, so, and let's see, yes, so to this one here, this can cause a problem. So this one is this what you see here is the same like here, but the difference is this one is not a validate get. You can convert this, and how you convert this is when you right click on this, go down here and it says convert to validate get. So this one here, when you click this, you see this becomes that. But if you use only the normal version, so without this get, so just this one here, this can cause a problem. What problem can it cause? The problem is later, if the text here is finished, so this one, in my case, the text was finished, I waited and then I clicked on the start button here, then this node here, this reference was not validate. And to avoid this, validate means here this reference was, I don't know, it's set here to, at least in my case, it was not validate. I don't know if this was the real reason, but in my case was anyhow set to not validate. And then to avoid this, I said, okay, right click, make a validate get, which means validate get means just if this is valid, you can see, then use not, let's see here, then go here on top. Then if it's valid, valid means yes, there is a reference, use this one. And if there is no reference, for example, there is no reference, that's why it says here is no valid. No valid there means we have no reference. Reference means we have not this one here in it. If this is the case, just go directly to the next. You don't need to stop because there is no reference for audio to stop. So you don't have to stop anything. You can go directly to delay to the next step, which is just this simulation and then open level, right? I hope you understand this because this can cause a little bit problem. And you can see I made something like that here. That was my setup, just to avoid this strange validation. I don't know if this was the right way because I have not checked it. I made it just very fast. It works. And if it's not working in test phase, I will remove this. But this one worked normally. So let's write here a comment as well, perhaps. Before that, let's ship this here. And write here a comment. Validate. No, first of all, stop story audio with validate check. All right, something like that. That's okay. You can test this if you want the other way around too, but in my case, this worked. So that's that. And we have one more thing. And like I said, this one is just for simulation purposes. You can see I set it here to 5 seconds. That's why when the loading screen pops up, it waits 5 seconds. Without this one, it would not even pop up. The reason for that is the level, this gameplay level is already cached because I opened it up already and it's using the cached version, and then you don't see the loading screen. But when the player is playing it first time, it will load, and we need this loading screen. So this is just for simulation purposes, so that I get a more real yeah, feeling about how it is. Later in the package page, I will see it anyway. In the package page, you should definitely skip this one. There are some parts which you just remove. So let's do the next thing here. Here's a checkbox, right? We have one more thing here, a checkbox. And like I said, this checkbox we can't finish right now, because to finish this checkbox we have to set up a save game, and we have not set up the save game. That's the problem. But what I did so far is just set up a checkbox which I saved in game mode. I don't know if we need this one, because this one we will do later when we create a save game. So we can skip this one here. This setup, it's not important. We can write here just this one is we can skip this and write here just after save game setup. After save game setup. After save game setup. Oops. After save game setup. We decide what to do. Yeah, something like that, right? So after this is okay, I hope so. And so that's for this widget. So we have set all the parts here. You can see very easy, straightforward. This one later. But there is one more thing which we have to set up. What is that? And that is, of course, how we call this widget here. That is the place which we have not set up, because we have set up just the parts in it. But how we call this widget and how you can see this now. Okay, how I call this widget. You go here to your folder first. You go here to your widget, story. In my case, it's the story. And right now I forget, for example, where it is called. And what you can do most time is right click, and then you can go here perhaps to this reference viewer, and the reference viewer tells you who is calling this widget. And you can see in my case, the widget which is calling this widget here, our story, is all time the left side, not the right side. The right side are where the widget has references to, and in our side, the left side is most time the caller to the right side. So here, my widget player controls is calling, and I see, can I right click, browse to asset or edit it, and then open this one up. So here, this one is calling this widget. So that was just to see this one. And here, this widget is calling it, and we have to set this up, of course, which means here, that was this controls widget. And here this got it, right? This got it, we have to change. So you can see that was this button is also a button. We go here to the graph. And in graph, we have again two things set up, which we have not talked yet. One is event construct. And let's see what the construct is doing. This event construct here, again, you can see it's like our event begin play. And it is just creating a reference. I made here a very cheap reference to the game mode. So I hope you know what a reference to game mode means. And then I did what? Okay. I think we can skip this part here as well, because what I did here is, let's go back this, what I did here is, when you click here this checkbox, right, here in this story, then you must tell the caller of this widget here, which is our controls, because here, when you read the controls and click OK or got it, then if this checkbox here, oops, if this not this, let's kick this out. Now, you click here, and then if this checkbox was selected before, which means the player already read this text, then this widget should not pop up, right? And this I have already set up here in the graph. You can see this here. We have a construct for the game mode, and in game mode I have created a variable, and depends on the variable, I will skip now this widget here. If this checkbox here was set, and I will skip it, and I have not shown you this right now, and the reason for that was because we have not set up the save game. I don't know if I really use this setup. That was just a pre-setup, but we can talk now about let's see. Let's see, this one is just a skip version, and this one is just the call version. Yeah, let's do just the call version. So let's skip this setup with this main menu checkbox settings. What this got it do, this button here, is just again this line here. Let's go to this line here, skip the other line. This is just skipping one widget. It is again removing all widget. That was this cheap solution. Like I said, remove all widget what you had before. In our case, we have this one. Remove this widget, go to the next widget, and that's it. That's the thing what this line is doing here. Remove all widgets again like before, then create the widget like before, and then here again a stop sound setup. That was also this sound here. The sound what I have set up here. Let's write here fast a comment. Yeah, remove widgets. All right. Let's make this very fast so that we have not to sing. And then here create. Oops. Comment. Create a story widget. All right. And you can see here. This is again sound. Here. Set sound. Stop sound. Stop sound. That was almost the same thing what I showed you before. The only difference here with this line here is the sound I created. Oops, let me show you this. The sound for not this. The sound for this is not here. Right? The sound was created in the main menu widget. Let me open up the main menu widget here. So the sound was created in this widget here, which you can see it here. We have remove all widget. You can see again, remove all widgets, create widget, and add to sound. All time the same thing. Actually, it was not created here. Sorry. Where is the sound created? Anywhere. Okay. Play controls. It was in, okay, it was created in game mode. In this case, I have created it in game mode. It says there, but I thought I have created it with the widget. It's not the case in this case. So what I did here is main menu. We can kick this out. We can go here to this. No, we can go here. And what I did here is I created the main sound for the main menu in game mode. Let me show you this one here. So let's open up the game mode. So I'm here in my main menu. You can see it. I go here to my game mode main menu. I open this one up, and in my game mode main menu, I showed you already this one here. And we have created here this sound. Spawn sound TG, and you can see here I also used here this node spawn and not play, and the reason for that is again I make here a reference, and with this reference I can stop it later. Okay, let's write here comment fast play main menu sound, main menu music. I think that's more. And here very important is this reference, right? So in game mode main menu I created this one, and of course I don't know if this is the right place to create the sound. Later we change this perhaps, but main menu but game mode is all time a good place to create very basic settings. And after this creation of the sound, you can see now here, not here, actually here, that is this one here. I stop playing this sound here. You can see I made this construct to the game mode because I need a game mode. And that's why I made here a very simple cast. Casting is not good, they say, but this is not so... in this case, it's not so wild because it's just a main menu, just a little widget. It's not big, and later it will anyway load at a new level, and then all this one is gone. So let's write here. What is that? This is just get game mode. That is just get game mode. And with the game mode reference, you can see I created here a reference like old time game mode reference, and here this game mode reference, get it. With this get, you have of course now access to this game mode here, and we need this reference here which we created because now I want to use this reference to stop this music which is playing here. So I called it ref in my case. You can see it. That was this get ref anywhere. Not this. Or okay, again ref. And yeah, here this one. I was blind. And then again you can write stop, because now you can stop the music here. And then you connect this. You can see stop the sound. And let me demonstrate you what this stop sound is so that you can understand why I use that this way. When we start this one, you hear now a sound, right? And the sound what you are hearing is this sound here. And I want stop now this sound what you hear when we do what? You can see when I switch level. So when I click on this got it, I want stop this sound what you are hearing right now. So when I click new level, it's still there. You can see I opened I switched to this one, and when I click now this got here, I got it. This one will be stopped because the next sound, because here the other sound starts with this talking. And here I start this one and now stop the other one as well, because there is also a stop. So that was this little demonstration with why we need this stop sound here instead of this play sound, because here this other node, if you use this other play sound 2D, the problem is there it's not stopping. So it is going to the next widget, to the next widget, and then it's overlapping. And with this here you have more control, much better. So I think that was already that what I wanted to show you so far. Of course, it's not finished. We have set up this a little bit more later. These are just basic setups. For example, this checkbox is very important to set up later, right? But like I said, we need a save game, and probably we'll do this in the next game, or we will see what we will do in the next game. But we are at a point. This is finished, and then this one works also. You can see I can switch here the pages, then I can go next, it starts the level, and yeah, there are some more setups of course to do, but the most important what we have to do is probably add some design. I said we should avoiding, for example, designing or all very, let's say you can see here like the sound here. Okay, you can see here the problem here is I said first I said we will skip the design and this creative mode for later, but we have still to set up at least a basic design so that it can still work when we have later no time, because we are trying to do this game in 7 days, right? So a basic design we still have to set up, which means I have to change now this one here, at least like this one here. You can see this one is also not very good. I added here just this, and this. It's not amazing. It's not really good, but it's better than let's go to the next place. It's better than this one here. Here's nothing, no design at all. The button here is not really configured. Yeah. we have to add our basic design, and here as well it looks just too plain. We have to change and add our basic design, not too much, but this one is a little bit too plain, I would say. And here also design for this loading screen. I don't know if we really need this picture here. And then we can go here. So we will do a little bit design. At least I will try. I'm not a designer, but I try my best. And not too much, because we have not too much time. And then we will dive into the gameplay. That's very important, because there we have now set up our gameplay here again. So the start screen and then all this task, and yeah, then we start with the gameplay. All right, that's so more or less our plan. And with that said, if you have any suggestions, any questions, or anything else, ask in the comments. And with that said, have fun, never give up, and see you in the next. Bye.